This is Season 4, Episode 44 of In Touch with Terri, a podcast for aesthetics professionals. This episode is titled, How to Create Goals and Why They Matter.
The secret to success, it's putting in 10 times more thinking, more effort, and more action than the normal person does. It just is, guys. We can't be mediocre. We can't just do the same thing. We can't keep our foot in the same place and expect to get forward because we're not going to get forward. Okay, we got to take a leap of faith. We have to stop saying, I don't have any time. My team is busy. I'm seeing patients all day. What is it worth to you to get better and to do better? Okay, because action and being busy does not mean being productive. So I need you to think bigger. I need you to take massive action. I need you to do it 10 times better. And I need you to push yourself to want to say, I know I have these areas in my business that I'm not an expert in, that maybe I don't have time to do, that maybe I need to seek an expert, which is why we're here. So I want you to have lofty goals. I want you to stretch yourself, and I want you to do the right actions that are going to help you achieve that goal. So to achieve the goal, it takes maintenance, it takes consistency, and it takes repetition. That, my friends, equals success. Hi, guys, and welcome to In Touch with Terri, our power-packed podcast for the medical aesthetics industry that brings you expertise, authenticity, more importantly, solutions that have proven to increase efficiency, profitability, attract, convert, and retain more patients, and feature some of the top industry experts as guests. Hi, I'm Terri Ross, former Fortune 500 executive, international speaker, founder and CEO of Apex Platform and Terri Ross Consulting. Hey, everyone. On today's episode, you got me today, and I love it. I love it. I always love having guests, but I really love when it's me and you down to the grind. I want to talk about something super important as we round out 2021. And it's something that I get asked about all the time and something actually everybody struggles with. And it's about 3 tips for creating goals. Okay, 3 tips for creating goals. And I thought that there's no better time than to do this right now. We're in the beginning of November, we're rounding out Q4, and we really have to take the time right now to focus and set our goals for 2022. You know, a lot of people talk about goals. We talk about losing weight, making a certain amount of money, taking time for your family, getting a new job, whatever it is. A goal is defined as a result of achievement towards which effort is directed. I'm going to say that again. A goal is defined as the result of achievement towards which effort is directed. So I'd like to ask you 10 very specific questions. So get out a piece of paper, please. And I want you to write them down and be super honest, you guys. I'm all about humbleness and authenticity. And I really, really would love to hear from you. So did you set goals for 2021? Are you on track this year to achieve them? Are you really busy? Which is amazing. But again, busy doesn't mean profitable. So are you profitable? Have you started planning your goals for 2022? And if so, where are those goals going to be directed? Toward training your team, toward learning more about sales, converting patients, getting more people in the door, looking at your finances, looking at your marketing, perhaps buying more equipment. How are you compensating your team? There are so many things that we can focus our efforts on, but I really want you guys to get clear on what those goals are. Have you set goals, or do you plan on setting goals for the company and then your individual providers? Have you taken a look recently at your P&L to see where you guys can actually make a change, reduce costs, and save money, or if you can add to that? How are you communicating those goals to your team, and what tactics and strategies do you have in place in order for you to help you guys achieve those goals? So what data and reports have you analyzed or will you analyze this year to ensure that you are set up for success when you build your goals for 2022? And then how do you plan to execute the plan and hold your team accountable? I know you guys, those were a lot of heavy questions, but 10 really, really important questions that you must know. So if you are, again, mental fitness, training your practice like an athlete, and you are not willing to settle for mediocrity, then we really have to take a look at these 10 questions and be okay with the answer. Because what happens is when we ask our clients about their revenue goals, they usually say, you know what, hey, Terri, I'd like to grow by 20%, or maybe I want to grow by $1 million. And I'm like, fantastic. That is so great. But what's wrong with that? It's not very specific. It's really about how are we going to get to those goals? So we want you to strive for those numbers, But again, when I ask you, how did you come up with those numbers, or what mechanisms of action did you use to develop that? The majority of the time we often hear, why I didn't really, I just kind of bumped it up from last year. And you guys, that's really just not the way to do it. There's so many things into January of next year. And what are we all trying to do? Lose weight. But let's just say you lose 10 pounds and then, 2 months later you gain 12. I mean, come on now, right? I'm sure we all had the best intentions of creating those goals, but we did not stick to it, right? We didn't look at why it happened. So right now we're going to talk about why do we create goals? And I'm going to give you 9 reasons. So again, I hope you have a piece of paper, a pad, you are taking copious notes and writing these down. So why should you create goals? Number 1, it drives performance. Okay, it drives performance of your business. Number 2, it sets intentions that drive positive behavior within your company. Number 3, the result in companies being more profitable and able to reach their potential faster once you have a goal in place. Number 4, it gives us the opportunity to provide feedback, positive feedback, constructive feedback to your team on actually how you're performing. Number 5, goals create transparency. I mean, how often do we have providers coming to us thinking they don't make enough money or they want to raise, but yet there's no goals in place, or you don't know your revenue per hour? When you have goals and you know revenue per hour, and we'll talk about that, everything is so transparent. So your entire team is beating to the same drum. Number 6, it forces the team to actually know the numbers and be accountable for their own productivity and what those numbers should be. 7 is putting key performance indicators and benchmarks in place. We have to look at what is in perspective for what your team and your practice can actually achieve. Challenge the team to reach their full potential. Again, when you have transparency and you're putting these things in place, now you can actually get them to strive for higher and reach greater limits. And then 10, measure, everything must be measurable with a concrete endpoint. So those are the top 9 reasons, you guys, why we need to create goals. Very, very, very important. So again, when we look at what is the end result, we just said that, what's that endpoint? The primary reason we have goals is to drive revenue. Okay. We want to make sure our company projections and our provider projections are in complete alignment. So goals work because they are intentional and they drive behaviors. So having defined goals in place really helps companies become more profitable and achieve goals so much faster. Setting goals is an opportunity and provides the practice manager or the owner the ability for you guys to communicate with your team and give feedback and provide, extreme coaching opportunities where they can improve. Goals also create transparency. We talked about that. So when all of the numbers are laid out and clearly defined, everybody, nobody can say they don't know. Everybody knows exactly where the company is and where they stand and where they need to be. They understand the numbers, they understand their tactics and their strategies and what you guys are going to do as an organization to achieve those goals. It helps you, again, align those KPIs that we talk about so often and really help, again, from a coaching opportunity. In addition to correct any challenges that you guys might be facing in order to achieve those goals. So when we think about goals, it's sort of a by when, right? You've heard of SMART goals, right? We want to make sure we have an endpoint in how we're going to be able to achieve those. Okay, number 2, this is the biggest thing. I get it. There's a lot of practices and people that are not great at numbers. They're not good at math. This is also another really important factor of why we developed Apex platform. There is a finance course with 7 modules that we walk you through step by step, because this is an area that we often hear. I might have a goal, but again, how you came about that goal is already sometimes a problem, right? It's just kind of bumping it up from last year when we really have to have more specific variables when we're creating goals, such as seasonality and some other things we're going to talk about. But when we talk about how do we do it, this is the biggest area. And most people say, Terri, I just don't know how. I don't know how to do it. So one of our calculators is a forecast and a budget and a goal tracker, and we'll talk about that. So we've talked about already why our goals are so important, but how do we create them? Okay, there are 3 numbers that you must know before you can create any goals for your business. Number 1 is your current provider and your company revenue per hour. This is super important, okay? You have to understand what your business is performing and what your providers are performing in a room per hour. Number 2, the total amount of hours that you have available to sell in the month. And then number 3, your current productivity percentage, which is a benchmark. Like what percent of the time are your rooms actually being used? Okay, so I'm going to repeat these because these are 3 really important numbers. Again, number 1, what is your current provider and company revenue per hour? Number 2, what are the total amount of hours you have available to sell? Okay, in a month or a specific period of time. And then number 3, your current productivity percentage rate, which is a benchmark you're going to look at what percent of the time. So let me give you an example because this is just math, simple math, but I want you to really understand how to do it. So if you know that your revenue per hour is $600 and you have 100 hours potentially available to sell, but of those 100 hours, you only sold 50 hours. It means you're operating at 50% of your potential, right? Make sense? So you guys must have to have this information to be able to create those goals. And then once you have these 3 pieces of information, you can create the goals that will ultimately do a couple things. You're going to have to increase your revenue by either increasing your revenue per hour, which means doing a treatment plan that we also teach you how to do, right? You have to squeeze more out of that patient in that room, get more done per hour. Or you have to increase your productivity rate and see more people. Now, this also lends to time and being busy. And you may be busy. You may be super busy. You may be at capacity. But I need to challenge you guys. Are you busy doing the right things? Okay. Are you busy doing the right procedures in those rooms? And this is where in Apex platform, we've proven the model with our calculators that once you can see what's profitable, what you're generating per hour, what services you're doing, you are able to identify, like on one piece of paper, holy shit, these procedures make me no money. I'm taking way too long. I don't charge enough. And I'm going to reallocate my marketing dollars. I'm going to stop this and start doing this. And all of a sudden you have exponential growth. And obviously reverse engineering all of that, going back to, having a team that is highly trained and equipped and able and believes in that consultation process and the ability to do that treatment plan. I don't like words about upselling, cross-selling. Then people feel sold to. It's never about that. It is really about you guys believing wholeheartedly that what you do matters. And that the procedures you probably have in your practice, when combined with multiple modalities and retail and pre and post plans, that's what generates more money, a greater treatment plan with a better outcome. Okay, my goodness. Number 3, now what do we do? Okay, so we know what goals are. We know why do we do them. Now we know how to create them and the 3 numbers you need. And number 3 is now what do I do? How do I communicate these goals to my team? And it has happened so often, you guys, this year. We've changed compensation plans by people identifying these things, or we've realized that people were overpaying or they were paying commission on medical procedures and you can't. And then they're like, oh shit, Terri, what am I going to do? And I'm like, look, there's 2 compensation workbooks in the Apex platform, and it's going to be fine because we teach you how to do it where it is transparent and it is motivating. So communication, you guys, is key. Empathy is key. And when we show our providers what's possible, when they don't think you're like running to the bank with bags full of money, which you're not, you really have a greater opportunity for buy-in and collaboration and transparency, and everyone really beating to the same drum. So goals do give you guys the opportunity for feedback, for a high level of communication. I highly recommend using our goal tracker in the Apex platform. Once you've identified how to do your goals, you're going to have them based on seasonality. You're going to have them for your service revenue. You're going to have them for your surgery revenue. You'll have it for your retail revenue, and you'll have it by month. And then you'll have it for the company. Okay. So again, this is where we can meet with your providers at the beginning of the month, right? Really have an honest and open conversation about where they were for the previous month or a previous time zone and what they're going to do and how you're going to help them achieve their goals for this year. Because you can't wait, you guys, till the end of the month and you're falling behind and you're like, crap, what am I going to do? And you have 2 weeks left and you're down by, $25,000. Goals help you look at, and the goal tracker tracks it every single day. You're going to put in service revenue, retail revenue, and you're going to put in the days that you work, and it's going to spit out. Are you up or are you down? Where you're going to be having these morning huddles that we also suggest. Okay. So you want to coach and communicate with your team throughout the month. You want to see what's working well, what their challenges are. More importantly, what opportunities, you have with patients coming in where you can perhaps reevaluate the consultation process. Maybe you're not doing the treatment plan. Maybe there's not a lot of patients coming in that particular month. But again, this is where we have to go back to the data. We have to go back to really understanding what you're doing in those rooms to make sure that your guys, your team has the opportunity to hit those goals. And this is why we say, right, the data doesn't lie. You have to inspect what you expect. And I know sometimes it sounds like a pain in the ass and super daunting. And you're like, my practice management software, I don't know what to run. I don't know what to do. And there's so much to look at. I promise you, it will be financial freedom when you are able to just get your arms around goals and tracking and metrics. And we've taken all the hard work out of it for you. You don't have to go create the spreadsheet yourself and call me up or DM me and ask me how to do it. We've done it for you because we care. You guys know. And thank you. I want to stop for a minute and just always thank you, because I received a couple amazing text messages from practices after my last podcast that really had me in tears. And you're listening to me and our team and finding value in the work that we do and the effort and the information that we put out is the reason, truly, like I sleep at night. It's the reason it makes me a better mom, because everything I do is really to push myself to be the best and learn and then provide that information back to you. So, back to the communication of goals, it's really valuable. Nobody likes to be in the dark. Everybody wants feedback. Okay. But you as an entrepreneur, as a leader, we have to go back at really creating that culture of what you can expect. So in order to do that too, I'm going to recommend that you do these morning huddles. They are, you guys, a fantastic way to get your team together. I know it might be hard. I know people still might be working from home, but they're 5 to 10 minutes. Find a way to make it work. I promise you, this is super motivating. It sets the tone for the day. Everybody gets on the same page. Everybody cares about what each other is doing. And no one can say, I just didn't know, or be in their own zone doing their own thing. So you're going to get together and here's a couple of things that you're going to talk about. And there's an agenda that we have also in the Apex platform, but it is, again, guys, 5 to 10 minutes. Hey guys, okay, what is our goal for today, right? Our goal is to hit $20,000 or whatever it is. What do we have on the books? We only have 10. Okay, cool. How are we going to get there? What kind of patients are coming in? Who can we really look at that's coming in for a certain treatment and create this treatment plan? Maybe what challenges do we have today? Maybe it's a difficult patient. Maybe somebody canceled. And then some words of inspiration, whether you have a team, company slogan or motivating thing that you like to say, it's really getting it together to say, like, guys, we got this. Okay. And remember, and really please remember that while this is aesthetic medicine, it's cash-based. And in every other medical area, there's a team approach. There's a team approach to getting the outcome. There's a team approach to surgery, to oncology, to cardiology, to my dentist, to whatever it is, my OB-GYN. There's a plan. There's usually a plan. And we have to be okay, you guys, with not worrying about how much the plan cost and worrying about if they can afford it or not. We have to worry about that you believe in your heart that if a patient comes in with a specific problem, right, that I might need multiple things to get me to that outcome. Okay. Because that from your gut, I promise you, that from your soul, when you believe that, you're not going to worry about I'm selling or they can't afford it. You're really going to look at it as an opportunity, because at the end of the day, you are educating and I am coming to you. The patients are coming to you because they value, they respect, they appreciate your credentials and your expertise. And that, you guys, is what is going to set you apart. So first and foremost, I really want to say that I appreciate, again, all of the effort, all of the feedback. I hope that you guys found this extremely valuable, because without goals, you guys, we don't have a plan. I always say I can't get in my car without my navigation. Should I get lost going around the block? Right? So we have to have an endpoint. We have to figure out how are we going to get there. So before I drop the mic, I really want to say that, again, as an entrepreneur and as a leader, you've chosen to be in practice. You've chosen to take care of patients. Health, wealth, safety is first and foremost, but we all are in business to make money and to be profitable. Okay. So I want you to push your limits. I want you to stretch yourself. I want you to go into 2022 feeling like you are set, that you have a plan, that you know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, okay, that's why we're here for you. So I want to leave you with some final words. The secret to success, it's putting in 10 times more thinking, more effort, and more action than the normal person does. It just is, guys. We can't be mediocre. We can't just do the same thing. We can't keep our foot in the same place and expect to get forward, because we're not going to get forward. Okay, we got to take a leap of faith. We have to stop saying, I don't have any time. My team is busy. I'm seeing patients all day. What is it worth to you? What is it worth to you to get better and to do better? Okay, because action and being busy does not mean being productive. So I need you to think bigger. I need you to take massive action. I need you to do it 10 times better. And I need you to push yourself to want to say, I know I have these areas in my business that I'm not an expert in, that maybe I don't have time to do, that maybe I need to seek an expert, which is why we're here. So I want you to have lofty goals. I want you to stretch yourself, and I want you to do the right actions that are going to help you achieve that goal. So to achieve the goal, it takes maintenance, it takes consistency, and it takes repetition. That, my friends, equals success. So I am so happy to be here with you guys today. Again, always passionate about the information and putting and serving and supporting and helping you guys achieve that. So again, if this is an area that you struggle with, I really do invite you. I would love to hear from you as always. I invite you to visit the apexplatform.com. Please schedule a discovery call with our team. It's about us getting to know you, really listening to your needs, and us showing you how we've built Apex Platform as this resource, this education and analytical tool with coaching involved to help you achieve your greatness next year. Thank you guys so much. If you love this podcast, if you found this valuable, I would highly encourage you, and I ask you with my humble heart, please share this with your friends, have them listen, find us on Aesthetic Insights, which is our external Facebook group. We have a private one for our Apex community, or find me at terrirossconsulting.com, our Instagram. I would love to hear from you. Thank you guys so much. See you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to In Touch with Terri. For more information regarding Apex, the aesthetic game changer, visit apexplatform.com. That's apexplatform.com. We'll include links to everything in the episode notes, including links to all of the ways that you can follow Terri Ross Consulting on all social media platforms. Please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast from whichever platform you might be listening from. Thanks again for listening, and we look forward to you joining us on the next episode of In Touch with Terri.